You're welcome to Law and Property with Dr. Prince Joel, your real estate investment coach. On this channel, you will be learning everything that you need to know about real estate transactions, documentations, due diligence, management, and investments. If these interest you, do well to subscribe. Today, we will be discussing ways of proving ownership to land in Nigeria. You will agree with me that if you go to our courts today, our courts are filled with litigation cases, land dispute related matters. It's either they are fighting for the boundary, they're fighting for ownership of the land. There's always one dispute, and 90% of the matters you find in court today are property related matters. And that is why the man with a better title will always win the case. A lot of people fail to perfect their title. A lot of people fail to prove ownership to their land. But the man with a better title will always win the case. In proving ownership to land, the Supreme Court, in a very old, celebrated case, and the name of this case is called Idundu versus Okumagba, where the Supreme Court listed 5 ways of proving ownership to land. I repeat again, 5 ways of proving ownership to land as postulated by the Supreme Court. I will take these 5 ways, one after the other. Number 1, traditional evidence by way of traditional history. This is one of the ways in which you can prove ownership to land. You must be able to prove the traditional history. 20 years ago, your fathers, grandfathers were on the land. You should be able to establish that years past they were on the land. The land moved from one generation to the other generation, from that generation to the other generation, until it got to your own generation. You need to have evidence to prove these generations. And that is what we mean by traditional history. You should be able to prove all the things that were done on the land customarily within the set period or length period of time. If you can establish that, you can prove ownership to that land. Number 2, by production of documents or title. Another way you can use to prove ownership to land. And that is why whenever you are buying land, it must be documented, because document with land are synonymous. If you own a land and no document, you got no land. And so in proving ownership to land, you must establish documents like deed of assignment, power of attorney, land sale agreement, any of the documents transferring ownership to one generation to the other, to one assigner to assignee, to one donor to donee, as the case may be, will help you in proving ownership to that land. So when you're buying land, ensure that it is properly documented. Document of titles includes certificate of occupancy, governor's consent, registered deeds, and as it may apply to other jurisdictions. Number 3, act of ownership and possession, to show or infer that the occupant or the owner is the true owner of the property. So one of the ways, or another way of proving ownership to land, is that you must establish ownership of that land and at the same time possession. You must have erected a structure, have a physical presence there, and must have also taken possession. Possession in this instance must be a long possession to also show that you truly own the property. Number 4, enjoyment and long possession of a land. This is another way to prove ownership. You must prove that you have enjoyed this land in a long time without any encumbrance or disturbance. Example, you have farmed on this land for a very long time, you've cultivated on this land, you have done all manner of things on the land, and nobody has confronted you. If you can establish this, you can indeed prove ownership to that land. Number 5, by proof of connected or adjacent lands could be another way of proving ownership to your land. That you own the land that is adjacent or connected to the mainland is enough to infer that you are likely the owner of the land in question or the land that is in dispute. So you own a land, there is an adjacent land, you also claim to own that land. The mere fact that you own that land that is adjacent could be a substantial evidence that you are likely the owner of the land that is also in dispute. This is another good way of proving ownership to land in Nigeria. In summary, before you fight over a land, you battle over a land, do yourself good by understanding the 5 ways in which you can own or prove ownership to a land. You need not prove all of them. Any one of them, it's enough to establish ownership. It could be the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Anyone could lead you to proving ownership to that land. Now that you understand that, ensure that you don't lose your land to any other person. This brings us to the end of today's topic. If you enjoy this topic, do well to subscribe and click on the notification bell so that the next time we upload any video, you will be notified. But before I leave, I have a book called The Compilation of Articles on Law and Property in Nigeria Simplified. This book will expose you to real estate transactions and all that. The book is divided into 4 segments, namely land purchase and transaction, land verification and documentation, general legal advice, and general information on estates. This book will change your life and take you to the next level. Until we meet again, I remain your most favorite real estate investment coach, Dr. Prince Joel.